はい、ではキングダムカムやっていきます。これはどこだ。ああ、前回でお宝、これをね、宝の地図を回収して、その中身ですね、お宝手に入れました。で、ここまで来たんで、このメインクエストウズリッツに行ってメインクエストを進めようと思います。ちょっと待って、タルムバーグでも何か用事があったはずだよな。スキン、これだ。スキン、ちょっとスキン、獣の皮をね、回収するというサイドクエストですね。ひゃあ、
My respects to you.
I've got those high.
Now that's what I call quality. That'll do me just fine. Here, you've earned a bit of coin.
Couldn't you use some hides?
I'm in need of boar hides, believe it
ボ
or
ア
not.
ハイ
They don't make very good leather, but the cobbler
オ
uses
ッケ
it.
ー。イノシシの毛皮ね、持ってたかな。ボアハイ持ってないな。1個しか持ってないな。1個しか持ってない上になんかいらん、ああそっか、いらん防具が多いのか。オッケー、じゃああと回しやな。ではウズイッツ行きましょうか。途中雲はないからファストトラベルで行こうかな。アタックオンザロード。やべ、もう戦闘に入ったな。危ね。敵は1匹だけのようなのでガチンコ対決してやりたいと思います。いいせやってやろうじゃないの。 お、死んだか。早かったな。お、どうやら敵は一人だけだったみたいですね。うん、よろしい。違うな、ボアミート、ボアハイドが必要なんだ。ちょっと持ち物をね売却してやりたいんですけど、最近ボタンが効かないな。
Good day to you.
I hope I can.
L1、R1 が効かなくなってきてますね。
I'm honored that an
we do something about the price?
Why not?
Here.
Well now.
I hope I can be of...
I've come in the name.
I don't...
That's all. Is there any?
Nothing out.
Word.
You'll have no trouble finding it. Right inside the door to the building, there's a ladder up to the loft. Your bed's ready. Take care now.
この間見たのが14と18やったラッティですね。これはもうしまっておきましょう。
No, I'm sorry I did.
Can I ask you?
Blessings of our good Lord. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems, sir,
Did you know Lou Wash?
a bit of a loss.
Did you notice it?
My child.
That's really not.
I'm sorry to hear.
Do you know what?
Unfortunately,
What?
I'm bound by
Vows more important.
There are laws.
Father, surely you can.
There are things that,
But Lou Wash is dead.
if I told you, if people believe,
Worse than the dead.
no one escaped.
Father, if I don't find out,
I wouldn't. Suppose we talk.
all right?
May the Lord watch over you.
Oh,
Have you thought of a?
Let's leave it
I see. I wouldn't have expected.
with a stick.
Do you have any work?
My dear lad, I have to deal with a witch. The herb woman.
Oh, don't tell.
This is no.
A little bird.
You know how.
In other words, what's the problem?
As long as. But this.
What do you want me to?
I want you, if you learn it, consider it done. Good. Take care now.
OK。ミートザプリパリッシュプリストインザターバンインザイブニング。夜あいつとゴドウィン神父と会わないといけないみたいですね。じゃあその夜までの間、ありましたね。ワハイド。以上になります。 っていた。ゴドウィン神父と
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything, but maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Scarlet.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. God knows why. I didn't make it to the castle. They almost killed me.
My poor child. May God grant. And how did you come to get this?
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujic, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyle? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claim. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about
Me? I noticed you're pretty handy with a sword. I wouldn't expect that of a man of the cloth.
You know what they say. The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
But this is a bit more mysterious than others.
Let's just say I haven't always been a priest. Fate led me to places where affairs were settled by force. These days, of course, just a bit of exercise to keep me in shape.
Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's come down to business. So about this confessional seal.
Henry, that's not how it... If people stop...
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But...
Word of honor?
On my soul...
I always wondered about...
Well, Ujic is in Prague.
Our priest.
It has to be something top. Tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days, especially if they're about porn.
Can you give me...
Well, recently, I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard. I'm thinking about putting it in.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching, the lamentable wealth, just like a flock. They don't know mercy. You want to baptize it? What if the devil himself with such money, while Jesus look to your conscience? Amen.
Well, this is young.
Oh, the congregation.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Who preaches against the... I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticizes the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
One L, please.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. They're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up, and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Yeah.
What do you suppose?
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap.
Help Godwin.
Don't be silly! Well landed!
So, my dear, wouldn't you like to have a little ring on the bell? No sooner said than done.
I'd love... Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin. Godwin, you old goat.
シンクのくせにやりまくってますね。はは、酔っ払ってるな。
Jesus, look where you're going.
ゲロの音もリアルですね。ゲロというかオベラの。
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, who the hell are you? Henry. My great friend, Henry. We have a wonderful time.
You certainly did, you old lecture. Now you better pull yourself...
Oh, shit, I have to say Matt. No, Henry. Master Jan Hus recently
All at once. We'll never get away.
Not make a No, neither can I. I'll go and start. No need.
Christ almighty.
Wonderful.
どこにあるんだ。あ、これか。これか。
Hey, watch it. Loud.
Never show up. Look, he can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'll throw up.
I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem.
Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry
from Scholars, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
はい、お説教でいくか。
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
God stands at the head of the church. 神はこの上にい
One
る
should
ぜ。
not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame. Shame upon them.
Drinkness は違うな。Human.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travelers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters. Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
Godwin was simple man, but stand up for Godwin.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honor to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
さあどうだ。ざわっとしてるな。ざわざわっとしとる
The
な。
lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
Glad
silver
he came
tongue.
here. Don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. We told him nicely.
よし、うまくいったっぽい。
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubos tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you?
Well, now Lubos came to me shortly after it happened. And his conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubos kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubos killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
OK なようですね。
Be a bit more careful. Good day.
Parish priest?
He is indeed.
I doubt he acquired those skills at the seminary.
You know how it goes. The nobles send their younger sons to study for the priesthood. And our parish priest has blue blood in him. He probably learned to fight at home before he went to university. That's how it goes with those aristocrats. But I heard something happened and he was roving the world for a while. Don't know what he got up to.
right away he'll take them. And how much do I want for them?
God save you.
Father, I wouldn't have expected.
With a stick. Good luck to you.
よし。OK な感じがするので。まあいい感じにはなったでしょうね。